Hey, welcome to our Relationship Flow podcast. We haven't recorded for a while, and there's much to say. We are coming to a special time of year, which climaxes much what's gone on. We began this year with a war, October the 7th, and Simchas Torah, so now we are heading towards Elul, the Chodesh of the climax of the Jewish year. And this Shabbos is already the Mavarachim. We're blessing it and getting ready. And in terms of relationships, it's been a very big struggle this year, to be honest. Thank God, my wife and I, my soulmate, we've done amazing. Being a parent of a soldier, we've talked through it somewhat over this year. We've gone through the transition of being Balit Shuva before the war. We were going in other focuses, more the intimacy side and other important topics. But since this war, this pretty much took over a lot of the discussion. My soulmate and I, and the flow has been about coping with having a son in Gaza throughout this war. He is currently right now at home, and it does create a lot of demands on us as we have to be there for him in terms of providing him pretty much the car and everything else. And we're hoping to get more independent as time goes on, in terms of providing him a car somehow or another, so that my children won't be affecting us that much in that sense. But nevertheless, it's not just the material side; it's the emotional side of the decompression that needs to take place after my son has been in Gaza. The kind of experiences, the footage I've been showing people, the saving of Khatafim, of the hostages, and the constant war aspect that they are facing terrorists who they've arrested, killed, and have to detain, look after the Shabak, who are taking the terrorists from place to place, who need to be getting out the Mada, the information, the intel, so they can find out more about the tunnels and find the rest of the Khatafim. This has been over 10, 11 months now of constant energy, and especially during the summer months, the heat is so intense there. And they're running through the streets of Gaza, cleaning out houses, looking for tunnels. It's a very intense environment beyond words. You have to understand, if explaining it is not really going to do justice, but the idea of seeing the footage of the tanks and the constant shooting and the explosions, the missiles, RPGs, the constant threat of snipers and surprise attacks, God forbid, and losing some friends from other units who were part of their overall unit. And, it's a very intense time. And to be a parent of a soldier, myself being a man, is slightly different in terms of how I process it, and my wife, and then being able to be there for each other, to be able to empathize and be supportive emotionally. And then it's during the summer months when people are enjoying the break, and at the same time you have to be there for your child and prioritize taking them back and forth from Yerushalayim, from Beitar, from Efrat, from constantly driving them down south again and again and again, and to the base, and dropping them off and picking them up. And then when they come anyway by transport, then being there available and having all the food and the drink, but the emotional preparedness. And this is the up and down experience of never knowing when they're coming home and what kind of state they're in. This last one was almost 3 weeks and very intense missions. You start to realize that this is a very intense time for relationships, the challenges and tests, and the idea that we're also in transition, as we mentioned previously. The idea of being able to allocate and find your home in Eretz Yisrael is always a challenge, even for people like ourselves. We're coming up to our 23rd year of anniversary of marriage. We already went through our Tu B'Av engagement celebration. I usually do a podcast around that time, but this year, as I said, the focus has been different. So Tu B'Av, I didn't even have a minute to go into this kind of flow. Tu B'Av was when we got engaged. It was 23 years ago. A special day of yichud, of unification. We mentioned in our Unity Flow podcast. You can go there and check out all the different content about the spiritual energy of that time. But for a relationship, it meant a time for us to celebrate, to go out. And this year we tried. We went out. We ended up, Baruch Hashem, instead of being going to a fancy restaurant, we ended up being the night before we were a wedding, and there was a lot of meat there. So we ended up going to a pizza place. And Baruch Hashem, that same week we had the opportunity to drive together to Netanya for Sheva Brachas, and having a week of simchas and having a week of just being able to, before my son came home. So everything timing wise ends up working out, and just having that amunah, that long term flow, that the relationship is forever. And It gives you power to overcome short-term challenges, gives you power to overlook some of the tension, some of the stress, to not point out every time there's a moment of pain or difficulty, to focus on it, rather to be there. I'm saying this to myself as a way of hopefully waking myself up. And by the way, I'm trying a new mic, so I hope this uploads in a way that's hearable. My kavana is that we should be able to come to a place of truth and be able to inspire our family, our friends, with everything we've gone through. My son himself has been a big inspiration, inspired many people, including myself. And you see, I've been posting pictures and the videos. I cannot share the footage, but some of the pictures are very inspirational. And I would love to record some of the times when he speaks, because it's very powerful to hear how he processes with Amunah, with a concept of intrinsic belief that everything is from God and he's being protected and he's doing a special mitzvah of being a soldier, and he understands the importance of working as a team player and doing the missions for the general safety and the health of the Jewish people. And the concept of making America healthy again, Maha, is making Israel healthy again. We're going to need a lot of healing, a lot of refuah, not just in nutrition and how we eat, but also a healthy lifestyle, but also the emotional, mental well-being of our people after such trauma. And that's something which we're still processing. People are not as forthcoming in terms of the comments of support, asking how we're doing. They do care, but people are busy and it's been a long war. So we have to be realistic that, that people are busy with their own challenges, and we have to be very strong in being very self-sufficient and finding that comfort and comforting each other and being there for each other. And it creates, once again, a stress. So the point is that we're hoping that the climax of these words are to give encouragement to people, no matter what difficulty we're going through. The relationship is more important than all the challenges. The soul connection, the ability to overcome a year of war with love and with connection and with inspiration and dedication, and to remind ourselves of all the accomplishments that we've made during a challenging year like this, and to go on a relationship flow that will inspire other relationships and will be a Kiddush Hashem, will shine out as we prepare for our 23rd wedding anniversary. This Hanukkah will hopefully be Zog Hanukkah Sabayis, either finding a permanent place in Eretz Yisrael, a beautiful community here in Shur David. If that's where we're meant to be, we'll flourish here, and our children will flourish, and please God, all the generations, all the community around us. We bless everyone to bench this Shabbos for Rosh Chodesh Elul, and the whole year to come, be inscribed for the Book of Life together with our soulmate, to realize this is a journey that we're doing together, and all the prayers are together for each other, constantly praying for each other and seeking out the good of each other, doing what we can to improve each other's situation. Be'ezrat Hashem, I pray that we should be blessed with that. Everyone who listens should think about that and see how we're doing that. And remind everyone, I put out on United Souls every month, so the last 2 months you can check out very important concepts of unity and soul and how it connects into the relationship flow. It's all about the soulmate. It's all about connecting to a more spiritual soul level of relationship that gives you the power to overcome the down-to-earth, practical daily challenges. And I wish everyone, and only good news, and please God, will share good news about my son, Baruch Masha, and all of Klal Yisrael, all the Jewish people in all the world should come to a place of peace, of shalom bias, and shalom in the world. Yivarech Samor Shalom. And I can't wait to share more relationship flows. You share yours. Thank you for listening.